Scrub
What is up,
fam!
Scrub fam? Woo!
What's up, boys? We're back with another deck profile. I got my boy Jose with me. What's up, Jose?
How you doing, buddy? Super excited. We got a baby deck, bro.
Yeah, buddy, we're bringing it back. Yeah. So, and my name is Frisco. We are both part of the 3XG fam, and we're here with another deck profile. Typically, we like to do written stuff, but today we're like, you know what? Let's do a video. Call it a day. You know what I mean? First, I want to give out a shout out to our sponsor, Bearded
Very
Collectible,
collectibles.
best
Alex
shop,
Pastrana.
best shop owner on the planet. So yeah, get your Series 10 product. Definitely go on a site, get everything pre-ordered, get your product. It's gonna be awesome. It's a really fun set, and it definitely changes the entire outlook of the game. So definitely get your product.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Series 10 is very decent. It's a lot of fun, man. It's refreshing. Very refreshing.
Yes. So, I want to talk about this deck profile. It's we're bringing back Vegeta Baby. I know Jose is super excited for it. He was super excited to play it when we did the whole meeting up in Ohio thing. I want to go over it, kind of like how this came to light a little bit, because when we were play testing Red at the start, it always was falling short a little bit. It was just never getting there. I was never punching in for the last few points of damage, and it just felt like it was lacking something. Would you agree with that, Jose?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It felt like in this set, Red by itself, it's missing parts.
Right.
So that's why Frisco decided, oh, let's investigate and see if we can actually how can we push through with that final piece of damage that we need to do.
Exactly. And then once the ruling came out with Bardock the Resolute that it can, once you take any point of damage, doesn't matter if it's crit, double strike, whatever, you can play him for free from your hand. And it was a double striker, and it was just puts a lot of pressure. But once you get your opponent down to like 2 or 3 life, it was hard to push those last points of damage. But once the champ pack cards got revealed, that kind of helped that scenario a little bit. And then I'll kind of go over that as we kind of talk over the cards. So let's kind of get into it. The whole premise of the deck is to play guys early on with either Demigra or double strikers. You want to push points of damage in. You want to have Bardock the Resolute in your hand, play him for free from your hand, and get your opponent down to 3 life as quickly as possible. And then from there, you want to play Liquor with the Draft Box 5 card with Gogeta Acrobatic Warrior to use Alliance, and then that automatically deals a point of damage.
Yeah. For those that are not familiar with the liqueur,
Yep.
because the angels are not that popular,
Right.
liqueur says that if you have a red or green card in play,
Yep.
so he actually becomes a 3 cost.
Yep.
So, and when he activates Alliance, and a reminder of what Alliance is, so when you attack with a card, you can actually tap another card, and that card that is attacking gains the attack of those cards that you use to do Alliance with. So, and a reminder, Alliance is actually an auto. So even if they
Yes.
negate the attack, you can still activate Alliance.
Yep.
So Liqueur says that you can, when you activate Alliance, you can actually debuff 2 battle cards by 20k and draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Which is, it's like it's breaking for Baby, because Baby already has a removal ability for like debuffing 2 battle cards by 10k.
Yep.
But Baby suffers from like old leaders that he doesn't draw as much, right?
Right.
So yeah. So
Yep.
I just want to do a reminder why Liquor is really good.
Yeah, it definitely is a good reminder. And the new SS3 Gohan from the Champ Pack has Alliance as well. And then when you use Alliance, they automatically take another point of damage, right? So if somehow you have an Acrobatic Warrior that survived the previous turn when you play Liquor, you can deal 2 points of damage automatically without even not before anything even happens, right? Unless they have a negate and then somehow like remove your Gogeta off the board, that would be like the only way. But if they don't have that, they're going to be taking 2 points of damage no matter what. So it creates that inevitability. When the game goes a little bit longer, you're always going to be threatening lethal at any point of the game.
Exactly.
And that's the point of like, and that's the whole thing with Red, because it brings them down to life title so fast, but it didn't have a way to close it out, and this is a way to do that. So
yes.
let
The thing I wanted to bring up is
yeah.
with the Gohan has deflect.
Yes.
So it's actually you can actually do a turn 4 play to guarantee the damage. Unfortunately he doesn't get Acrobatic Warrior but for free. But
Right.
if the Acrobatic Warrior is still on play, you can actually do 2 deals damage, like Frisco said. But the fact that he has Deflect is very significant
Yep.
because Licor, even though he's really good at turn 3 play, he still doesn't have Deflect.
Right.
But it's basically your recharge engine, and that's probably why we're still calling this a semi-competitive deck. It's like a fun deck, just because you're supposed to do things on turn 3 and turn 4, where your turn 3 play doesn't have Deflect.
Right, exactly. And then that's kind of why we play the Arrival Gogeta, since it's a red green and it's a 5-drop, and it can play the Acrobatic Warrior, the 4-drop Gogeta. So it has another line of play if you want to play the Gohan and somehow you save the Awakening, or it's just good removal in itself. It just gives you that other flexibility in the deck that it kind of wanted or kind of needs, just in case if you don't have the Liquor or whatnot. So that's why I like the Gogetas in the deck in itself. Um, the initial build of the deck actually started off with Bardock Unison, but then we wanted to go lower to the ground, and then that kind of flipped to Demigra Unison. I know you want to talk about him, right, Jose?
Oh, he works so much, man. He's still working. He's
Yeah.
still working.
Get back to
Yeah.
work.
So it's really important, right? Because the Migra will enter on turn 1
Yep.
potentially.
Yep.
So on the moment you play him for 1 energy, you'll do the +1. He'll stay at 2. So now your counterplays are active.
Yep.
And like we mentioned with her Liquor, so you need a red or a green card in place, so he becomes a 3 cost.
Red green battle
So
card, yes.
so what the deck wants to do is to have early bodies on board to start putting
Mm-hmm.
pressure, so you can enable a turn 3 kill, or at least put you at lethal
Yep.
with Liquor. And like Frico said, with inevitability, like doing a burn.
Yep.
So Demigra, in case that you guys don't know, so he has this permanent ability that when he gets attacked, you could choose to take 1 life instead of taking a counter down. So also really good with Baby, because Baby has self awakening.
Yep.
So you can take 1 life to debuff something by -1, -5, sorry, -5k.
Yep.
So you can plan for that powerful turn 3 play without tapping out. So it's big deal.
Yep.
Big deal.
Yep, and then and it's definitely great with having the Frieza counterplay on active on turn 1, and that helps out against Vegix if they want to go into Splintering Mind. You can have a counterplay against it, which is also pretty cool. But it gives you that flexibility of having as you said, a red green battle card in play just to play Liquor for a reduced energy cost.
Exactly.
So another card that we can talk about is Legic and the Super Combo. The main
Yes.
reason why those cards are in the deck is just in case if you don't have a battle card in play and you don't want to use energy to play battle cards, because right, that's the thing these days. You just don't want to play energy for battle cards. So that
Mhm.
helps you that part out with Liquor to have a battle card in play. So that's like the main reason why they're in the deck.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing with Napa, once Napa is on board, using Liquor it feels so good, right? Because you're still
Yeah.
getting the 10k for his power for doing Alliance, and Liquor has critical. That's something that
Right.
I forgot to bring up. So you do your Liquor, you debuff 2 things by 20k. You draw your 2 cards, and now your Liquor became a 30k critical
Yeah.
swinging, and your Napa stayed on board. So let's say they actually go thanks you on you were on the draw, and
Yeah.
they go thanks to you last turn. So that means that you can actually kill their go thanks,
Right.
for example. So the
Yep.
the ability for debuffing was very relevant,
Yep.
because you can do -20 and then you can do -10 with the Baby ability. Is great. Great.
And another cool thing to note with the shrinking of your own battle cards on the backside, it shrinks your own battle card by 15. So things that I like to do is when you have a Bardock Resolute, you try to swing with that first, and if they negate, you can have restand it. But then after your second swing with them, you can actually shrink them by 15 and then go into your burn damage to play another one from hand, because the one from play is removed and it has unique.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you can chain them that way. You can also try to chain Acrobatic Warrior somehow if your Liquor and your Acrobatic Warrior survives and you like saved your Awakening ability, you can burn damage, blow them out, play the Gohan, and then you can Arrival in, the second acrobatic, and burn again with them too. So some crazy ceiling plays that are with the deck with the shrinking of your own battle cards. So just make sure you keep mind of that.
Absolutely.
So other cards that I want to mention is the Vegeta, the Preparing for Battle. This is just basically another copy of our 4-drop or our 5-drop Gogeta because they can grab any one of them from the drop area and put them into your hand. Because early on in the game, if you want to combo with them and then you're like, oh, I wish I had another copy of it, that's your other copy basically.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep. And then Jose, how are the 1-drop double strikers working out for you?
Yeah. So the way that we have been playing the deck was we want to play very aggressive. We
Yep.
want to try and get you at 3 life as early as possible
Yep.
because we then will get you to 2 with the burn ability
Mm-hmm.
and potentially could take you down uh, to 1 life with the crit swing from Liquor.
Yep.
So it's very, very aggressive deck. Now, you have to be aware that you're taking also a lot of life and you're running very low on negates.
Yep.
So it's kind of a Jesus take the wheel deck. Like I love them. That's why I'm so excited about. Yeah, like your goal is get your opponent to 3 life by turn 2.
Yep.
So then you go and try and kill on turn 3.
Yep. And then I think the best case scenario is that you play Liquor on 3, you awaken, save 2 for Topo, or you can use other extension plays with your 1-drop double strikers, etc. So you can kind of tailor your turn from there. But you want to try to save your awakening for the turn 3. That's the goal. And then you can just use turn 4, play the Gohan, and just win the game from there.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And you're a Dio Mulligan, so you want to have the Bardock.
Yes.
You want to have Demigra. You want to have any of the 1-drops, 1-drops double strikers. You don't need to charge dual color at all.
Correct.
So your color scheme is green, green, red because Liquor only needs 1 red.
Yep.
And then you charge the second red on turn 4 for Gohan because Gohan is weird that he needs 2 green and 2 red.
Yep.
So it's very specific.
And then just FYI, we tailored the deck to have all your defensive energy as red. So as you can see, you have the red negates with Videl, and then your Topo is a red negate, and then your Gogeta is a rival red. So you always want to have a red energy up on defense. So kind of, so we wanted to make that consistent across the board. So you never are in like, oh, do I want to keep a red or do I want to green up? If you're always passing the turn, you always want to try to keep red energy up just because all your defensive cards are red. So just keep that in mind.
Yep. And then there was a single turn of Champa because, again, we want to put you at 3.
Yeah.
So that Gogeta will bring you, it's again, creating inevitability, right?
Yep.
So you could actually be swinging with Liquor. You do that 1 damage. Now your Liquor, after the alliance, so now your Liquor is 35 crit. So now you bring a Champa. You drew 2 more cards, and now you can go for game.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then this deck actually is pretty good against like the mid-range decks just because it can just burn damage. It doesn't really matter like what your opponent is doing at the time. So that's how you can always judge like the gauge of how good decks are. When I don't really care what my opponent is doing and I can still win the game, you probably are doing pretty powerful things in the game. So kind of like Invoker, right? You're like, I'm gonna play my 6-drop and then just burn your life, and it has that same feel of it, right? That you're just like, all right, I guess I'm gonna just play my card and just win the game. It's a lame thing to do. It sounds kind of lame, but this version's actually more fun doing it just because it's more interactive.
Oh, you're gonna negate? Okay, take a damage
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
Great.
Like, right? Oh, I'm gonna
Cool story,
rival
bro.
kill your thing. Like, okay, he still took
Cool
damage.
story,
I
bro.
know, right? And that's the whole reason why the scramble secret rares in the deck is just to have that extra extension. Like somehow, if the game goes to turn 5 and like you're playing against a topo deck or something like that, you have a way to like bring them to 3-0 or whatnot. So
Yes. Yeah. And the other mention I wanted to bring up was the Saiyan Instincts. It's
yes,
just trying to complement the challenge of playing red and green nowadays.
yep,
So you don't draw enough.
yep,
And also like the fact that Baby's an older leader, right?
yeah,
So you don't draw enough. The Saiyan Instincts felt great. So if you see it in the mulligan also, it's good to keep. So you can
yeah,
do like a turn 2 in case that you don't have your pieces. can use your turn to just draw two and pass.
Yep,
So
definitely. Yeah, and another thing, I know I talked about the initial build having Bardock Unison, and you can have the free Gohan one drop. That was my initial thought of the deck. That should definitely be in the side deck because you're going to go against more mid range or late game decks, and you don't have to go super aggro. You don't have to go Jesus take the wheel and try to win the game within the first 3-4 turns because the mid range version is actually really good because Bardock also creates that pressure of like, hey, do I need to over combo? Because you can always snipe a combo card from their combo area to protect
exactly,
life. Or am I going to just take damage? Because if they take damage, you're going to put yourself in lethal range. But if they over combo, then you're getting a lot of resources
a lot
out
of
of their
value.
hand and putting them in a bad spot. So it's like that catch 22 that you put them in.
Exactly.
Yeah, but with Vegex out there and stuff like that, and it's probably better just to go a little bit lower to the ground.
Exactly. So actually, when we were here all testing at my place,
Yes.
I was I almost stole a deck from Vegex, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why we made some adjustments to the deck. I just needed an additional 5K because Beauty Super Combo is broken.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could definitely steal games from it, and it feels really cool doing it, and
Yeah.
it's definitely a good deck. Yeah, let's go into like our thoughts like after playtesting and everything. What would you say is the coolest thing about playing the deck, Jose?
The coolest thing is that I get to use Alliance for me because Alliance for me was always a really cool mechanic. Because I was one of those people that when the Alliance came up with the Broly, I was doing it with Chilai, and it
Yep.
was so much fun. It's like, oh, I'll get you to from 4 to 3, and this guy now is a big dude, triple
Right.
strike. I'm gonna combo my hand. I'm gonna kill you. You know.
Yep.
Um, so I like that they were using mechanics that were supposed to be used. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I love that they're reviving these mechanics. I love that I'm playing Baby. You
Yep.
guys know I've been a biggest Baby fan ever. I'm a Vegeta Baby fan, and I love that I can go fast
Gotta
because
go
that I can
fast.
control I can control the pace of the game. Right, not as well as Vegeta, of course,
Right.
because Vegeta still like doing things without any repercussions. Um, so this deck is essentially the embodiment of how I like to play.
Mm-hmm.
Is like a lot of lines, a lot of decisions, and a lot of repercussions too. So you have to be willing to take the risk
Right.
and say like, okay, uh, am I gonna take the life here to actually give you two more cards,
Right.
put you to 3? Now I'll give you a power play. So yeah, it is a lot of decision making in the game
Yes.
in the deck, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I
What about
definitely
you?
I like it because I was a big fan. I'm a big fan of Gohan. And as soon as I saw the car, the art and everything of the card, it looked sweet, and I was like,
Gotta make it work.
I know. And then I saw it, and then I read it. I was like, oh my god! And like this card has barrier and deflect. If you guys don't know, one of like the best battle cards in the game just got banned. Gogeta Hero Revived, and he has barrier and deflect. And there's only one other card in the game that has barrier and deflect, and it's the Invoker Vegeta 3-drop. So it just kind of tells you the scale of like, hey, if something has barrier and deflect, it's probably a pretty good card. So I just like that it's just uninteractable damage that you know you're gonna do to your opponent, and they can't do anything about it. It was just like, oh, okay, so you just like get to win the game basically at any certain point, which felt really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
and if you get to play on turn 4, if you happen to delay the game right enough where your awakening is on turn 4, you play the Gohan. The Gohan says that when you do alliance, they crit a life, right?
they take one
And
life, they don't crit the life. The
they don't
second
crit it. Okay,
effect,
good.
yes.
So the second effect is that if they play a battle card with its five cost or less, was it
20k power or less.
20 cat power less? So they have to crit life every time. So that
Exactly.
that means that there's no counterplay. There's no like topos.
Yep.
So every time that they play a card, they have to crit a life. So
Right.
that again, if you're putting them at 3 life, now they're very limited on what they have to do.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And it basically, a lot of decks either play unisons or bodies that are probably 20k or less. There's not many battle cards people are playing right now that are greater than 20k power. So it hits a good majority of battle cards that are being played right now for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we were playtesting the deck. We absolutely love it. We've gotten a lot of games within Ohio. It was definitely one of the decks I would take to a tournament just because it's super fun. It's actually super competitive in the deck. I like it a lot, and it's different. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
So
I would actually risk it to take it to a regional for sure.
yeah,
Yes,
cool.
because it actually uh, like I had a good match against Gotenks for sure.
Yep,
It with Dredgeku is a little bit more challenging because they can get rid of your board. But if you actually, I wanted to bring this up as a result of the testing. This is why we went this route because
exactly.
testing against Dredgeku, we have when we put them to 3, now they have to be thinking
Yep,
really like about like, oh crap, am I gonna do the -2, the crit 2 lives to clean the board,
yep,
or do I prefer just to take the double strike for keeping that my hand?
right. Yep.
Right? And then it's like if they do, you only have to get them to do one ability, and then you burn them later.
Yep, and that's the main reason why we kind of flipped it to like the more lower to the ground version, just because Dredgeku and then Vegix are just so prolific in the meta, and it just and it just we're just better versions against those decks.
Absolutely.
Cool. I think that does it. Jose, do you have any final thoughts you want to talk about before we end it?
No, I think it's a very fun deck. Again, like I always said, like red baby decks, the red baby leader is so fair
Exactly.
that you learn to play the game because you have to be thinking about all the repercussions, all the counterplays, how you're gonna get punished for doing things, you
Yeah.
know. So I think that's why I fell in love with baby, because every time I play baby, I feel like, man, I'm doing work. I'm
Yeah.
learning. Not as much work as Demigra unison is doing, because that brother is working the whole time.
Yeah, I guess one final thought that I should mention: the main reason why we are doing the Vegeta Baby leader is because the Gohan Champ card requires a red Saiyan leader. So
Oh,
the
right, right.
the the options were kind of limited with either like Pan or Promo Gogeta, and he just really wanted to awaken when you wanted to awaken, just so you had the untap 2 at your disposal. That was basically the main reason why that we went with Vegeta Baby as well. Besides it being Jose's favorite character.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So,
Well, boys, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. We're going to be doing more of these. We are going to come out with a lot more decks in the upcoming days and weeks. Look out for them.
yeah, and thank you for the support. Thank you for watching us. And then again, we are the Scrub fam. And shout out to Alex Pastrana,
Ah.
Beta Collectibles, best supporter in the multiverse. Ah,
Okay,
thank you guys.
bye.
Bye.